and also on radio, it is 94.1 FM. It's just like, a day or two to the NPP presidential primaries. We're still on that, and today we'll be talking about Honorable Ken Ohene Ejapon wrapping up his campaign towards Saturday's polls, and we'll be speaking to one of the persons who speaks for him to ascertain from how things have been so far as he wraps that particular campaign of him making sure that he may become the flag bearer for the party for the 2028 presidential election. But also on the program today, we'll be taking a look at mobile transactions. We all do those transactions with our mobile money, but it has hit a record high of 518.4 billion, and that was in December 2025. So we'll get to talk to the National Secretary of the Mobile Money Advocacy Group and hear from them what they've got to say about this. And then, still on the water challenges, today we'll head to the Volta region, to Adidome Secondary School, where they're facing some huge water challenges on campus. We've been bringing that to you on our news bulletins. We've got to find out how things are now, and if there's any change, anything that has been worked on. We'll try and find out from our correspondents in the Volta region. And so these and many other stories we'll be bringing to you as Nana Kwesikweti is standing by to bring to us the latest news updates. Kwesikweti, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Desmond, and I hope you're doing very well.
I am well, by God's grace, we're here.
All right, so it's time to look at the headlines for this afternoon. Minority in Parliament is calling for the immediate withdrawal of all official notices and actions suggesting that the Kwandai parliamentary seat is vacant. Ghana Police Service intensifies intelligence-led operations across the country to combat crime. And later on Good Afternoon Ghana, we will be looking at the upcoming NPP primaries with a focus on the conclusion of Kennedy Agyapong's campaign tour. These and many more coming up. Stay tuned with us. Welcome back, and these are the details for the news. Ghana's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has revealed that an average of 44 lives are lost daily to terrorist attack across West Africa, with about 8 attacks recorded each day in the sub-region. The minister made the remarks at the high-level consultative conference on regional cooperation and security in Accra, attended by security chiefs from Burkina Faso, Liberia, Mauritania, Nigeria, Mali, and other countries in the region.
We meet at a time of considerable anxiety. On the average, there are 8 terror attacks every day in our region. That on the average claims 44 lives every single day. The epicenter of global terrorism has moved from the Middle East to our region. We now account for at least 47 to 59% of all recorded global terrorism. The grave statistics continue that over the last 15 years, our region has seen an increase by 1,266% in terror attacks. And the death toll has gone up by a staggering 2,860%. That is the grim reality we face. On my way here this morning, I received a call from my counterpart in Niger, indicating that they will not be able to join us this morning as they had originally planned because of an attack at their airport in Niamey last night, making it possible. That is a reality. It's a daily, grim reality. And we cannot.
And still on the story and on the part of the Minister of Interior, Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, reiterated the importance of the conference considering the impact of terrorism and security concerns in the West African region.
Today's meeting is a defining juncture in our sub-region's history. The security landscape confronting us has evolved into one of unprecedented complicity and agency, just like my colleague, the Foreign Minister, mentioned. Terrorism and violent extremism have not merely persisted, they have intensified, abducted, and expanded their reach with alarming sophistication. The Sahel now accounts for over half of global terrorism death, underscoring that this is no longer a localized crisis, but the epicenter of the transnational threats with potential spillover into coastal West African states, including Ghana. These security challenges do not exist in isolation. They are deeply intertwined with structural vulnerabilities that undermine resilience, climate-induced stress leading to resource scarcity and food insecurity, persistent youth unemployment and limited economic opportunities, mobility barriers caused by poor logistical bottlenecks and inefficient border management, and the erosion of social cohesion in border communities. When young people face blocked pathways to meaningful livelihood, when markets remain inaccessible, and the basic services fail to reach frontier zones, vulnerabilities multiply, and the violent extremist group and transnational criminal networks readily exploit these conditions for recruitment, illicit economic, and destabilization. Your Excellencies, we acknowledge the valuable effort of existing regional mechanisms such as ECOWAS, the African Union, and the bilateral partnership, which have contributed to containment and response. The regional and sub-regional mechanisms require renewed strategic direction, enhanced coordination, and a fundamental shift in perspective.
And away from that story, Director General of the Criminal Investigation Department, COP, Lady Aya Donko, says the Ghana Police Service is stepping up intelligence-led operations as part of a broader national security strategy to protect citizens. She disclosed that these efforts have been fed to several successful arrests, including a highway robbery case involving a member of the Council of State, where 7 suspects were picked up. 5 other suspects were also arrested in connection with a separate robbery incident at Inkasim. She made this known at a press briefing at the CID headquarters in Accra.
Alias Birdman, Inusa Sumaila alias Agenda, and Haruna Safiano have been arrested in connection with a crime. On 21st July 2025, the victim was traveling along the Tamale-Bupe Highway when he was attacked by 6 armed men who robbed him of personal belongings, including mobile phones, some cash, wristwatches, reading glasses, a laptop, and other items. On 11 January 2026, following intelligence gathered by the CID, a team from the anti-armed robbery unit was dispatched to Salaga in the Savannah region. This operation led to the arrest of Rashida Yusuf, who was found in possession of an iPhone 7 Plus belonging to one of the victims. The phone was retrieved. Further investigations led officers to a mobile phone shop located at Dagomba Line in Salaga. The shop attendant Aaron Abana Baswifanga was arrested, and he disclosed that the phone had been brought to the shop by his uncle Wilson Avason, an environmental officer, and the shop's owner, who resides in Tamale. Suspect Wilson Avason was subsequently arrested in Tamale. On to the story on the arrest of 5 suspects for robbery at Nkassam. The Ghana Police Service has also arrested 5 suspects in connection with the robbery attack at Nkassam in the Ahafo region. The suspects, Mutar Kofi, Mahamadou Sadio alias Salifu, Shaibu Issa Jallo alias Jibo, Abdul Suleiman and Bukari Sule alias Taylor, were arrested on separate days in connection with the robbery.
And still on combating crime, the Ashanti Regional Police Command has arrested 4 suspects in connection with a landmark armed robbery case in the region. According to the police, the suspects were part of a robbery gang terrorizing residents at Kunsu and its environs in the region. There is more in the report as we listen to Abdul Suleiman.
The suspects, Yaya Seidu Atta Ezreal, 32, Victor Jan, 26, and Stanley Wiafe Akenton, 30, are currently in custody, assisting investigations. Addressing the media at a press conference on Wednesday, January 28, 2026, the Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Osei Akutu Arthur said police retrieved 2 pump action guns, 5 mobile phones, including the complainant's phone, 22 BB cartridges, and a cache of 5,400 cedis. He disclosed the suspect, including 2 others who are currently on the run, attacked one Kingsley Asari at their mining site, robbing them of their gold, money, and mobile phones. He explained that the gang carried out this operation on December 7, 2025, robbing gold worth hundreds of cedis. The police interrogated the suspect upon arrest, and they have admitted the offense and will be processed to face the full rigors of the law.
The Regional Police Command wishes to brief the general public on the arrest of 4 suspected armed robbers in connection with robbery incident that occurred at Kunsu on 7th December 2025. On 21st January 2026, at about 22:00 hours, personnel of the Regional Anti-Armed Robbery Unit in Kumasi, in collaboration with officers from Surveillance Unit of National Operations Directorate, Police Headquarters, Accra, acting on intelligence, arrested 4 suspected armed robbers at Kunsu in Ashanti region. Police investigations indicate that the suspects are members of a criminal syndicate responsible for a series of robbery and stealing cases at Kunsu and its environs.
Let's turn our attention now to the Pandai constituency, and the National Democratic Congress has expressed disagreement with the Supreme Court's ruling quashing the Tamale High Court annulment of the Pandai parliamentary election. That although the party respects the decision of the Apex Court, the NDC Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Rashid Tanko Computer, said the party will wait for the full judgment before deciding on the next steps. He spoke with Harriet Adi on January 28th.
Well, let me put it on record that the NDC as a political party respects the decision of the Supreme Court today, but we strongly disagree on the 6th of February, where we will get the reason behind the ruling so that we can take our next line of action. But for now, we will respect the decision of the Apex Court. As a political party, we are respecters of the law. We will not hold press conference to run down the judges or say unprintable words against the judges. We will not do that. We are respecters of the law. We are mindful of the independence of the judiciary. This is the first time you've seen that, where a ruling government, a party will send a matter to the Supreme Court and lose this magnitude. Yet, we've respected the decision. Just some few months ago, Tamale High Court made a ruling And the minority held a press conference and ran down the High Court judge. Describe her in an unprintable way. I can't even repeat some of the words they used against the judge. And 4 days ago, they held another press conference and ran down the Supreme Court judges. They said all manner of things about the Chief Justice, called him names. And yet they went ahead and had a favorable ruling in their favor today. They are hailing it. They are all over the place, jumping around and celebrating. You see, that tells you the governance style of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, because he wants the sanctity of the judiciary to be upheld. And therefore, nobody is going to interfere in whatever they are doing. But we will also take our legal rights, the processes therein, by making sure that we get their reasoning on 6th February, read it, and then take our next line of action.
Also, the minority in Parliament is calling for the immediate withdrawal of all official notices and actions suggesting that the Kandai parliamentary seat is vacant following a decisive Supreme Court ruling that was reaffirmed the constituency's elected member of Parliament and brought an end to legal uncertainties surrounding the 2024 election.
The minority in Parliament has demanded the immediate removal of any administrative actions or public notices that imply that the Kandai parliamentary seat is vacant. This comes after the Supreme Court overturned a previous High Court decision that had annulled the 2024 parliamentary election in the constituency. In a statement welcoming the Apex Court ruling, the minority said all record at Parliament and the Electoral Commission must now reflect the legal position that Matthew Nyendam remains the duly elected member of Parliament for Kandai. The Supreme Court, in a 4-1 majority decision delivered on Wednesday, January 28, set aside the judgment of the Tamale High Court, which had earlier nullified the election and ordered a rerun. The court ruled that the election petition was filed outside the strict timelines required by law, meaning the High Court did not have the jurisdiction to hear the case. According to the minority, the decision reinforces the supremacy of the Supreme Court, the importance of due process, and the principle of electoral finality within Ghana's democratic system. The ruling confirms that there will be no rerun in Kandai and that Matthew Nyendam remains the duly elected member of Parliament for the constituency.
And still on Kandai, the Member of Parliament for Weija-Agbawi, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, says although the National Democratic Congress may disagree with the recent Supreme Court ruling, the law remains the law and the Apex Court has delivered a clear and final verdict to the matter. There is more.
The decision of the Supreme Court has given the minority in Parliament a positive outlook. It is for this reason that the Member of Parliament for Weija-Agbawi, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, explained that the ruling shows the law has taken its proper course and that the outcome is in order.
They don't have a case at all. I would have been very surprised and disappointed if it went differently, but I also told you that these are men, human beings with all due deference, who are paneled to deal with a matter.
That's right.
So it would mean that they really want to deal with the matter from an angle of objectivity, the law, and trust.
That's right.
And that was how come we had a 4-1 decision, a majority decision. So for whoever is dissenting may also have his views, and that is entirely up to the person, you know. And I saw that my Lord Puawa dissented, and he may have his views. I mean, that is entirely up to him.
He added that while the NDC may indicate his intention to challenge the decision, such a move will not change the fact that the law has already been served.
It's a good thing, and like you were saying, that the NDC guys are saying they may want to have a look at it, perhaps to have a judicial review. I think that anybody who understands mathematics and law knows that if there should be any more addition, there will be 2 more added, and that will be 7. So assuming without admitting that the 2 that will be added would even come and join the minority, it will be 3. So that will still be 4-3. So I've been issued. There is nothing for you to go and fight for. I mean, at worst. So we shouldn't waste our time. I mean, what are they even doing with the 189? That is the question we should ask. You have 189. Attendance is poor. Submissions on the floor lacks a lot of content and quality. So it doesn't matter, even if you get 190. What you need to do is to be sure that you are active on the floor, you are making very sound submissions, you are contributing largely to the development of the law or making of the law in Parliament. That is critical. Right. But not just to come and have numbers and bulldoze your way and feel that you are the giant. No.
He further stated that he strongly believes that Member of Parliament for Kwandai, Matthew Nyundam, will return to Parliament when the House reconvenes on February.
Yeah, well, they are supposed to have applications filed to ensure that it comes back. So yes, the expectation is that on the 3rd of February, when Parliament reconvenes, it should be in Parliament.
Jerry Ahmed, the Member of Parliament for Weija Bawi constituency, he has dismissed claims that the New Patriotic Party is in a state of confusion, describing the current contest as healthy political competition and insisting that the only and best candidate should emerge to lead the party. He spoke to our parliamentary correspondent, Dominic Ansapra.
Do you have a favorite in there? Have you declared?
Oh yes, everybody has a favorite.
So have you declared?
No. I'm a leader. I'm in leadership. My expectation is that when all is said and done, I should be part of the people to bring people on board. That's right. For the unity of the party. So irrespective of the fact that I have a favorite, I've kept it to myself. And maybe once in a while it's my wife and myself that get to discuss it. But largely, I do. There's nobody who the judges there, they vote, don't they?
They do.
Yes, and they have favorites, but they still decide on matters that affect parties, don't they? So that is what it is. I have a favorite, and my prayer is that whoever wins, especially my favorite, all of the others should be able to support. So if it's Kennedy Agyapong wins, if it is Kwabena Agyapong wins, if it's Brian Acheampong wins, if it's Dr. Duchum wins, or Dr. Bawumia wins, all of them represent the New Patriotic Party. My simple understanding is that we have the people that are more capable than the NDC guys. With all their combinations and efforts, they've made so much noise, they've come to power. There is no single policy that they've been able to push for us to. They started making noise when they saw that it was just time for us to have the budget. And they brought in the fact that they ran in the fact that they had just launched the Nkuko Nkiti. But we have also started to know that they once launched a confirmed Nkesi.
Let's turn our attention now to the Gender Center for Empowering Development, and they have launched a financing program aimed at addressing the exclusion of women and youth from Ghanaian politics. The initiative highlights how high campaign costs prevent capable candidates from contesting for the office, requiring urgent reforms to ensure a more inclusive political system.
Speaking at the launch, a representative from the Department of Gender, Faustina Acheampong, applauded the Gender Center for Empowering Development and the Open Society Foundation for producing the reports. She noted the report provides critical evidence to guide reforms and create mechanisms that support women and youth in politics. Former NPP parliamentary candidate for Adenta, Akosua Menu, speaking at the report's launch, said money remains the biggest barrier keeping women out of politics.
We have to ensure the quota system. We need to ensure there's a quota system and be deliberate in empowering them. Financing is a major challenge. If you are not well resourced or connected or have friends, if you didn't go to some great schools with great network of people to help you, it means that you are almost immediately eliminated. And then there's a concept of godfatherism and other things that are in the politics right now.
Former acting chairperson of the Convention People's Party, Hajia Handatu Ibrahim Hussein, shared her personal experiences during an interview to highlight the financial burden women in politics face.
The highest filing fee I've paid in the CPP was 40,000 Ghana cedis. That was the last election. That was in 2000. When I wanted to contest as the national chairperson. When I contested as the vice chairperson, I think I paid 30,000. And I asked myself, 30,000, a party that is not near power, let me put it that way. And I'll go and put that kind of money into an election. What am I going to get from it? But you know, because of what I believe in my party, I believe in my party ideology, I believe in what we stand for.
Esther Smith, Executive Director of GenSed, said political parties must cut financial barriers to allow women and the youth to participate fully in politics.
The Saturday election, it's who has the biggest money. Most of the people, one of the arguments they always put out, I have helped the party a lot. I have provided cars. I paid for this region campaign. I paid for this. I haven't heard any of them saying that this policy, I push the party, that as a party, we need to do this policy, we need to push our government to do this. No, they haven't really said anything. And so it tells you that we are moving away from a democracy that will serve its people. And everybody's asking, what is in democracy for us?
Reducing financial barriers, enforcing quotas, and strengthening party reforms are seen as critical steps to ensure that the next generation of leaders can compete fairly and that democracy truly reflects the voices of all citizens.
And President John Dramani Mahama has called on African governments to urgently pursue economic reforms that directly drive development and improve the safety and well-being of their citizens. According to him, political independence and democratic governance mean little without deliberate efforts to transform Africa's economies and then also to create sustainable livelihood for the people. He was speaking and also empowering African leaders across the world.
In a Facebook post on Thursday, January 29, 2026, President Mahama called on African government to urgently implement bold economic reforms to drive development and improve the safety and well-being of citizens. He said political independence and democratic governance mean little without deliberate effort to transform Africa's economies and create sustainable livelihood. He used the occasion of the 2026 Africa Trade Summit to also restate the need for continent-wide economic transformation. The summit coincided with a visit by the president of Sao Tome and Principe, Carlos Manuel Villanova, whom he welcomed to Ghana. Touching on industrialization, President Mahama also noted that although the process is capital-intensive, access to long-term and affordable financing remains a major challenge, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises. He therefore called for a new approach to domestic resource mobilization, urging government to channel funds and pension schemes, insurance companies and sovereign wealth funds into productive investment.
And away from that, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has urged businesses not to be worried about the recent depreciation of the cedi. He explained that while the volatility of the cedi is expected, measures are in place to make the cedi relatively stable. He was speaking at the 128th Monetary Policy Committee press briefing in Accra.
The depreciation of the cedi, it is very much in line with the framework that we have. I mentioned that what we have is a floating, it's a managed floating system. What that means is that you allow the exchange rate to adjust to shocks. You know, it's part of the process. The cedi must move up, but then it must move down. Our objective is to ensure that the volatilities are not excessive. And so don't get worried if you see the cedi moving a little bit. It is normal. A number of factors, impact the cedi at any time. There are short-term factors, uncertainty of any kind, speculative behaviors, some noise in the market. Those can just move the rate, not because anything is wrong. If those movements become persistent, then you might notice maybe factors such as high monetary growth. If that happens, that could also impact on the cedi. So what is happening currently, we believe is more of the short-term kind of, factors, uncertainty, etc. But it will fall in line. We are observing the trends. We are working. Our financial markets is on top of the job. We announced a number of reforms in the financial markets last year. This year, we are going ahead with further reforms. The interbank FX market is working better now. And so we believe that FX intermediation will become more fluid going forward. And so the cedi should be relatively stable going forward.
And still on the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, he has indicated that the banking sector recorded a strong performance in 2025 with improved assets and non-performing loans. He is confident that the ongoing policy measures will continue to sustain the positive growth being experienced in the sector.
The sector recorded a strong performance last year. Total assets increased in the year, driven by growth in domestic deposits, domestic borrowings, and shareholders' funds. The asset growth was primarily reflected in investments, which increased significantly. The latest financial soundness indicators show that the banking sector was solvent, it was profitable, and it was efficient. The non-performing loans, or what we call the NPL ratio, improved to 18.9% in December 2025 compared to 21.8% in 2024, although it remained elevated. Ongoing policy measures that are aimed at resolving legacy loans, enforcing strict credit underwriting standards, and addressing willful defaults are expected to further improve asset quality.
And thank you very much for joining us for the news. At the moment, we're going to continue with Good Afternoon Ghana. Desmond Okweku-Danso gets in the seat.
Thank you very much, Nana Kwesi, for bringing us the news update. You're still watching Good Afternoon Ghana. We're taking a break. When we come back, I mentioned that we're going to talk about mobile money transactions in this country. In December 2025, it hit a record number. We'll talk about that. And also, we'll head to the Volta region, to the Adidome Secondary School, where they have some serious water challenges. We're speaking to the DC for the area. We hear from some students also about how they are managing the situation on campus. So stay with us 1 to 2 p.m. Of course, we have a conversation coming up about the campaign for Kennedy Ohineye Agyapong ahead of the polls on Saturday. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Me chechi mo ninara me din e de baby da pa me di ade sonko kra na ebremo nya ode to aduane mo ama waduane e de pa na me de bremo eno any some spices de e mo wa wo bebre o various flavors ubenya e yakoko ubenya nantwie ye de ku jollof mo ma emu ye de ubenya ye de ku nkwan ye de ku froye mo ho na ko pebito na e ma waduane enye de unyimi nia ye nkon konko tie nyankofo eka
download your communication to you all enjoy Oduba. That's Samu Spices. One in the SCN, no five. I'm going to get it Ariaga. Samu Spices in a Samu Daddy so say. Samu Spices. Mun Samu.
Samu Spices. Nyama chicken.
Samu Spices. In Sanaka in Ketwa, measure 10 grams. You want chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, and jollof, and the flavors. Alfodo bebre.
Samu Spices. Yes, Saka.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Chaco toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Chaco toothpaste. Kel Chaco toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Semayo kendini, ehube here, semetra sapapadia to amame manfo. Kel Chaco's natural ingredients, and a bomb is sehobai, a maniswing, Nesansu mama hotoso, a bedroom.
Kel Chaco toothpaste. Choose Kel Chaco toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Right, so welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Desmond Okrekudan. So we're going to head into our very first conversation for this afternoon. And we're talking about mobile money transactions. And Ghana's mobile money ecosystem has reached a milestone with transactions hitting an all-time high of 518.4 billion cedis in December 2025, according to the Bank of Ghana's 2020 for fintech sector reports. Now, the Mobile Money Advocacy Group Ghana has saluted key stakeholders, including the Bank of Ghana, telcos, security services, and mobile money agents for their role in this achievement. Also, MOMAG highlighted its own contributions to this growth, including capacity building programs for 43,000 agents, a nationwide no ID, no deal campaign that added 1.2 million new active wallets, and lobbying for fairer cash-out fees and 24/7 instant reversals. Now, the group also pressed for greater police visibility and security measures, resulting in a 28% drop in attacks on agents. Now, we're going to speak to Kingsley Amakwata. He's National Secretary for the Mobile Money Advocacy Group, and he joins us via Zoom. Mr. Amakwata, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us here on the program.
Good afternoon.
Great.
Happy having me on your program.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Well, this is some very, very good news. You say you're happy about that. As we have built this to this level, coming into 2026, what more can we do to make sure that we reach other unprecedented figures?
All right. Thank you. For us as a Mobile Money Advocacy Group or an agency association of mobile money, our goal is always train our members. Our goal is always bring our members to speed, the trends, the security, all the positive things that will help our members to be abreast of time. So our capacity building this year, we have also planned a series of capacity building that our members will be going through to aid them or to assist them to catch up with the new trends in terms of the fintech business.
Assignment that off you.
Please go on.
I think.
Hello, Mr. Makwata, are you there?
So, aside that, we keep. Yes, I'm there. Can I be heard?
Can you go on? Okay.
So, aside the capacity building, we'll still partner with the EMIs, with the telcos, so that we will still always have a tete-a-tete with the telcos or the EMIs to continue with our business, to continue with the inclusion as the states actually is saying. You see, the states have the idea of what they call light cash economy or cashless economy. And all these things, the Mobile Money Advocacy Group, yes, we are working our way towards meeting that target.
Right. So one of the very, very important things that has been a challenge for mobile money agents in this country has got to do with security. You say that you've had a very good collaboration with the security agencies, especially the Ghana Police, and there's a drop in that 28%.
Yes. With us, we have zoned ourselves, or we grouped ourselves into zones and then to the regions. So what we have done, or what we do, and we continue doing, is that each zone is it's some sort of autonomy. Links with the police or the security. So every month or every 2 months, they will have a general meeting or a training workshop at the zonal level, apart from the ones that we do at the national level. They have a training, maybe a month or two, where we invite the police to come and educate us and guide us the best way to protect ourselves. They say your security is in your own hands. So with that, the police are from time to time are invited to our meetings to discuss the security measures. On the national level, we have also decided to meet with the IGP. Our letter is there already, so that we have a discussion from the upper court, so that they will understand us, and probably it's not going to be we chasing the police at the regional levels or the zonal levels, but it will be a duty or a mandate from above, so that the police will from time to time invite us or have a seminar or training for us in terms of security. So we are still doing that, and our members always are in touch with the police service for us to beef up our security. Say.
Right, so that's very good to hear. You also talk about the no ID. What exactly is that? Share that with us.
All right. So the no ID, no deal, they are in twofold. We know that, or we got to know somewhere last year, that there were people who hitherto are not agents, but they have managed to get the system to register SIM. You see, when as an agent, we are mandated by the telcos, or we have the portal to register SIMs. People, or some people, have managed to get to register SIM. Now, some will go to them and say, oh, I'm making SIM, I'm buying SIM. I don't have card, I don't have Ghana card, I'm buying pre-registered SIM. Now, we saw that these SIMs that people buy without using their own card to register was causing problem. Somebody will go, oh, I want a SIM which has been registered already, I don't have SIM card. So now we are saying that you cannot come to any Momo shop that you want to register a SIM, or you want a SIM, but you don't have Ghana card. You buy a SIM, you come with your Ghana card, we register you, we take your biometrics, and then you have a SIM. I'm saying that if you don't have card, we will not perform that transaction in terms of acquiring SIM. Then again, if somebody is taking huge sums of money, or somebody comes, and we are not so sure, as I said, police have trained us in some of these things, and we are not so sure that the phone or the number that you are handling is not yours. We can ask of your ID. Maybe you are transacting money. You say you are putting money on your phone. We mention name, Kwesi Amoako. They will say, are you sure? Are you Kwesi Amoako? Is there any form of identification? Let us see your card. And then we see the card, and then we go through. We don't want a situation where we perform a transaction where at the end of the day, probably it's a scam, where we find ourselves in hot waters. So that's what we have been doing, and we keep on doing. That's why we call it no ID, no deal.
Right. Just a quick one on the issue of cybersecurity and how it has become very sophisticated in these times. How are you dealing with that with your members, also in terms of fraud and all of that?
With the matters of fraud, in fact, we liaise with the telcos. We also have a link with Of Ghana. We also have a link with Chamber of Telecommunication. For them, we from time to time meet them. So they teach us, or they train us, our members, or they give us documents for our members, the do's and don'ts. And as I said, in our various zones, we also from time to time have talk. Now, we've also appealed to them that there are agent SIM cards in the system where normally they don't use it to work, but for all you know, they use it to perpetrate fraudulent activity. Now the telcos are gradually taking off these SIM cards, agent SIM cards, which are not active. You see, when it's active, you see that day to day, every day, you see that the system is working or the agent SIM is working. There are some will be there, maybe a month or two, then something will pass through. But the telcos are now taking off these gradually. From time to time, they will come to your shop to see whether it's a physical shop, you are there, or the SIM is just being used. So all these things has come out of the result of the meetings that we've been having with the telcos, the EMIs, the Bank of Ghana, and the Chamber of Telecommunication.
Right. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Mr. Kingsley Amakwata is the National Secretary for the Mobile Money Advocacy Group, sharing with us how they have been faring and some of the new things. As they mentioned, no ID, no deal. They say that it's been a very important one for them, as they've been able to hit this amount, that is 518.4 billion cedis in mobile money in December 2025. Now we're going to head to the Volta region, where we're doing a follow-up on a story from the Adidome Secondary School, where there's some serious water challenges on campus, and our regional correspondent Gabriel Asempa has been following that story. But according to the students, they have been without water for more than 2 weeks since reopening, making daily life on campus extremely difficult for them. Now, the students are calling on the Education Ministry to urgently intervene and resolve the long-standing water crisis in the school. Let's take a look at the reports by my colleague, that is our correspondent to the area, Gabriel Asempa.
Adidome Senior High School has been grappling with a severe water crisis for the past 3 years and is currently without a reliable water supply following the disconnection of its main system due to unaccumulated unpaid bills. The situation has significantly disrupted teaching and learning, compromised sanitation, and exposed students to serious health risks. As a result, many students are compelled to trek long distances to fetch water from a nearby river, an unsafe source that poses grave health hazards. Some students who leave class hours in search of water but often return empty-handed have shared their frustrations with Metro News.
We've been walking from junction to junction and then there is no water. So if students are outside by this time, then what time will we get to them? So please, government, help us so that we get water to go, so we can be able to study to be the future leaders of this country.
There is no water on campus and we are suffering. So we want to have the government to come and help us. Because we walk from the school to this place, it takes almost 30 minutes to come and reach it. We are missing lessons.
Don't baffle, because sometimes you can walk the whole and you don't get water. So the only way to survive is to wear your uniform and go to school or go to friends, just like that.
Because of this, I can say it's a major reason why we are feeling our WASSCE too. Because we jump classes that we are supposed to attend, all because of water crisis. So we need the help from government to come and help us.
The Vice Chairman of the Parent-Teacher Association, Moses Awukuvi, says the situation continues to negatively affect academic work. He has therefore appealed to the government and well-meaning individuals to support the school.
Our students who are in Form 3 and Form 2 currently have to travel to town very far to get water. Even the nearest water source that the youth assembly, sometimes they go there, they cannot have access to the water. Just as you have come, you have seen what is happening. They still have to walk all the time to town. Even sometimes people have to go to the lake, fetch, and come and meet them along the roadside before they could come back to campus to use.
As it stands, students of Adidome Senior High School have no option but to continue trekking long distances in search of water, a situation that poses serious health risks and disrupts effective teaching and learning.
So that was a report put together by Volta Regional Correspondent Gabriel Asempa. Now we're going to get on to Zoom now and speak to the DCE for the Central Tongue area. Addison Doji Monui has joined us on Zoom now. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the time here on the program.
Good afternoon.
Right. I am sure you know about this situation from the school.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
I am very much aware about the situation.
Right. So talk to us. I mean, you heard from the students how they've had to struggle to look for water. What has been the way forward in trying to find solution to this situation?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, the water situation at Adidome Senior High School is a serious issue. The whole thing started with accumulated bill, as you indicated. The old community water, huge sums of money, so they were disconnected a number of times. So those number of times that they were disconnected, my attention was drawn to it. So I intervened by appealing to community water for them to be reconnected. And frankly speaking, they were reconnected for good times. There was one particular time the regional minister also did intervene for the reconnection to be done. Now, then going forward, we decided to be providing them with tanker services. So we use our tanker to provide them with water. And it came to a point, the service that we provide with the tanker, because of the students' number, the service of the tanker too is not sustainable. So we decided to look for a lasting measure. One problem that we have with the water table in Central Tongue is when you sink borehole, either there is no water or the water flows for some few months and that is the end, you wouldn't see water again, or it is salty. So when you come to Adidome Senior High School, we have a number of sunk boreholes that are not functioning properly. And recently, Republic Bank, through the regional minister's ingenuity, they also came to do a survey to see if they can be able to sink very deep for water to flow. To add to that, I got in touch with community water as to why the bill of the secondary school, the senior high, is always on the high side. And they said it is based on the consumption that they take. Just this morning, I spoke with an engineer at the community water station as to how best we can find another alternative to this. One of them is trying to dig a reservoir that during the rainy season we can harvest a quantity of water so that at least during the dry season time like this, our students can use alongside the water system that is on campus. When I spoke with the headmaster of the school as to why the bill has been outstanding for ages, what he told me is normally when the bills come, they forward them to the Free SHS Secretariat for payments to be effected. So the payments over the period have been delayed in coming. So that is the situation. So
okay,
we are looking at the alternatives, being it's the borehole that is not working as well on campus. Then another one is the thought of having the reservoir, a very big one, that can contain a quantity of water for our students.
Mr. Monyu, I've got a few questions, and the very first one is, you said an engineer told you that it's due to the consumption, that is why they have their bills always on the high. So I was going to ask that there are other secondary schools in the area. So what is with Adisek that is causing all of this? Or is there a problem?
Yes. Yes, that was a question that I asked the workers at the community water, and they told me the consumption is commensurate with the bill. What they consume is what they pay. They are supposed to pay.
Do you get those figures with all the other schools?
Reference to the other school. Yes. So when I decided to check from Sogakope Senior High, what I got to know is for Sogakope Senior High, they are on Ghana water, and ours is community water. And what I was told is the billing system is different. Then I decided to check during our management meeting a few days ago. We were having discussion on the same topic. We were told that when you take Homauli, they also have an alternative measure to the water situation. So they also have a very big reservoir that they depend on. So that was why we also started having the conversation on the reservoir to deploy.
Right. Mr. Monyu, do we know how much is in arrears now? That's my first question. How much is owed to the community water? Now, you mentioned that Sogakope is on Ghana water. Why is Adidome not on Ghana water?
The water system, the one that we have 5 district water projects. 5 of the districts are on it, and it is sourced from Adidome.
Okay.
Then the Sogakope version 2, that is also Ghana water. So it's a different thing. Then about the bill is over 100,000. The last time I checked from the headmaster, he told me PTA has been doing very well. PTA have paid about 30,000 out of it, and it is now left with over 70,000. So when we had our management meeting yesterday, we were having deliberation as to whether we as the assembly can have a part to play in payment of the bill. So basically, that is the current situation. So if no additional bill came, it means the outstanding one should be a little over 70,000 Ghana cedis.
Again, this is a situation that has been long-standing. It's been around for a while. Why have we waited all through? Because it means that the students who have been to the school, past students, must have gone through the same thing, and it is still happening, where this is very acute, that students have to leave campus, so it disrupts their activities on campus, learning and all of those things. Why have we allowed it to fester until now? And then, what is the surest, word you can say to us about when this issue will be resolved?
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, we've taken steps. Like I said about the Republic Bank coming in. When they came, we told them about the situation of the water table, and they gave us that assurance that for them, they will be able to sink very deep. That was what the engineer assured us with. So if he's able to sink very deep, then it means the situation will lessen. Aside that, as I said earlier, that is one reason why we said that we want to deploy the reservoir system, whereby we harvest a quantity of water during a dry season like this, then our students can have access to water. So those are some of the steps that we are taking. For the community water itself, it will not be taken out totally, because these measures that I'm talking to, they are to supplement what community water is providing. So basically, that is it.
So now what is needed is that when the 70,000 of arrears is cleared, they're going to be connected back to the community water?
Yes. I spoke with the regional manager of community water when the disconnection happened. Like I said earlier, I intervened 4 good times. So when the latest one was done, that was where I called again, and he assured me that if they are able to make additional payments, then they will be connected. And when I called him, he also said that they are also having their challenge with electricity company of Ghana, ECG. So because of those situations, that is why they are forced to engage in some things like this. So basically, that is it. We'll continue to take steps to reduce the situation.
Right, so someone, I understand all that you've said. This is my final question, and again, it's about the timeline, because, well, you've said Republic Bank and some other stakeholders have come through, they've come to survey the area, but the students will keep going out of campus. So in these days ahead of us, until that is done, what is going to happen to them? You say that you provided them with water from the tanks. There's also a problem with that. Then it means that until the work on the borehole or whatever reservoir that you've planned for them is done, we're going to see this.
No, that is not it. I said also that we, at a management meeting, we had discussion as to how best we can also see to the outstanding bill. So even if we cannot honor all of them, we should be able to absorb some. We should make the community water people to reconnect the system for usage by our students.
I am still on the timeline. So are you giving us a week or 2, a month?
The fact of the matter is, when you take the assembly system, the way it works, we need to follow the due process to make sure that that thing is taken care of. That was why we had a management meeting to deliberate on it. Even aside that, there is the need for us to write letter to the local government ministry as to where we can take the money to pay for that. We need to seek permission before that is done. So it will be difficult to give timeline to it, but as we are working around it, it will be resolved. At least we should be able to pay some that will help the people to get connected.
You still haven't said anything to me. I wanted a timeline. So with all of those processes, so let's give you 2 weeks, 1 month, or it will be more than that. Because I want the students and their parents to understand that the DC has spoken. He says that a month or 2, we will find a way to pay some of the bills, and then you'll be reconnected. But at this point, I know you are working on it, but how soon That is the question. How soon is this going to be resolved?
Yes. Yes. Like I said, it will be difficult for me to put timeline to it because it is a process. The processes are not reserved to me alone. Like I said, we have to write letter to the ministry as well for certain things to be done as well. Where we are supposed to get the money to make the payment, we need to seek clearance from that place before they give us the go-ahead.
Okay.
So that's why I said it will be difficult for me to put a timeline to it. But if it is something that is directly within my domain, why not? I can put a timeline to it.
So it means that in the days ahead, you're still going to be trekking to go get the water until that is sorted? Yes.
We will take steps to make sure that it is resolved as soon as possible.
So you go and give them water in these days ahead of us, or they will still go out to go and look for the water until you resolve it?
The tanker services, it is something that we've been doing. But the fact of it is, you provide them a number of tankers within a twinkle of an eye. That one too is also exhausted. So fine, we can continue with that service, but it is just on ad hoc basis. It wouldn't lessen the problem as we all wish for it to be.
Right, so we can conclude that the students will have to continue with that until the solution, as you mentioned, the writing of the letter.
We'll fast track our moves for it to be done. The discussion with the regional manager for the reconnection to be done, that is the surest way that we can still pursue.
Right. Thank you very much for your time, and please make sure you fast track that for the students. They will definitely come back to you for updates on that, and we hope that would be as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Addison Doji Monui is the District Chief Executive for the Central Town area, speaking to us about the water challenge at the Adidome Senior High School. They owe about 100,000. PT has been able to pay 30,000, left with 70,000. It says that the assembly will begin the processes to make sure that they're able to clear that so that the students can have water on campus. You're still watching Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Desmond Okrekudan. So we've got a conversation coming up about that is the Saturday NPP presidential primary. I'm sure by now all the aspirants and their campaign team, they're putting everything together as they wrap up towards Saturday. Today we'll be speaking about Kennedy Ohineye-Agyapong and his campaign, and we have Francis Amoako, his NPP Canada branch treasurer. We'll talk to him about the campaign of Kennedy Agyapong and how it has been wrapping up on that. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll delve into that conversation. Stay with us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asare.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy.
They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354. Also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
I had this kind of like 5-year deadline goal to be an expert in leadership. But about halfway through the 5-year process, everything changed. I quit asking the question, how long will it take? And I started asking, how far can I go? What is your potential? How far can you go? I would have to tell you, I have no clue. The only thing I know is I'm not there yet. The only thing I know is I'm still learning, and I'm still growing, and I'm still developing, and I'm still practicing, and I'm still doing. When I grow in my awareness and I develop my strengths and I make the right choices, my potential is unlimited.
So we have been doing the countdown, and it's just this Saturday, your election central, Metro TV, original 91.9 FM, Metro Digital. We have ourselves ready for Saturday for the NPP presidential primary. And yeah, listen, when members of the NPP sing this song, it sounds really, really nice. You know, the elephant is anyway. We're going to leave it there. I have Prince Amwako here. He's the treasurer. Sorry, Francis Amwako. I beg your pardon. Francis Amwako is the treasurer for the NPP Canada branch. He's joined us. He's on the Kennedy Ohene Japan campaign team. And we're going to talk about all that he's been working on, wrapping up the campaign and all that. You can definitely share your thoughts with us on our social media handles at Metro TV. Ghana on radio, it is 94.1 FM. You can listen to us live on there. Also on Multi TV and on 277 on DSTV. Francis, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I'm sure it must have been a very busy few months. Yeah. For you personally, how have your roots been trying to campaign for Kennedy Japan?
Right, so for me, and thanks very much for the opportunity, and a very good afternoon to all your listeners, wherever you are. For me, my route campaigning for Ken started in 2023, when he first, indicated his willingness to stand. Because right from that time, I did believe in his vision and his personality, that he was the right candidate to lead the NPP, to be able to break the 8 at that time. And so it's been more of a continuation. From there, he didn't win, but we went into the election. We all supported Dr. Bawumia for the 2024 election, right. And then we all saw what happened. And so
right afterwards, we started to lace our boots to go for another round. And for the past 12 months, I would say, on social media, on WhatsApp platforms, calling homes, calling constituencies from Canada. We've been doing all that, and so it's been smooth, and it's been very, very interesting.
So you started that in Canada before coming to Ghana?
Yes, very, very actively.
Mm.
Very, very actively. It's a global village, right? So you don't need to be in Ghana to start campaigning.
Right.
It's an age of social media.
Mm.
So WhatsApp groups are there. We talk about the good things of Kennedy Agyapong, his good attributes,
Right.
and why he is the man to lead the MPP at this point and to be a president of Ghana, because the moment calls for him. And so we do also call delegates from Canada. We have like-minded people who we have a group, and then we talk about what we can always do to support. And so we have delegates list, we target constituencies list, and then we call them and we tell them that from where we sit in Canada or abroad, the message that Ken has is best for the party, because that is a message that Ghanaians can understand and connect with, especially the youth. That will solve a lot of our challenges now when it comes to unemployment and job creation.
Right, we'll get into that, but how did you feel about the loss in 2024?
About the loss in 2024, I think as a party, we worked hard to secure a victory.
Right.
But I think we all knew that it was going to be a daunting task. I think we've had some senior members of the presidential candidate at the time, senior members of his campaign team, who has come out to admit that research far back as 2022 from national security showed that we were on the verge of losing the election in 2024. I mean, it's open information, so we all know. And that is exactly the message that Ken has been saying at that time. And so it was a painful loss. I think the manner of the loss was what made it so painful. And, but was it a surprise? Was it surprising that we lost? As I said, from Dr. Bawumia's own campaign team, senior members have said that far back as 2022, research indicated that we were losing the election.
Before the election,
Right.
you believed the NPP was going to win with Dr. Bawumia. And is it after the loss that you believe that there was supposed to be a change?
Before the election, when Dr. Bawumia was elected,
Yes.
as party members and party executives, we have to work hard as we can to get him elected.
Right.
The outcome was that we didn't win.
But did you believe he was going to win?
I believe that it was going to be an extra hard work and a miracle for him to win. And you see, the elections are over, so we have to tell ourselves the truth. We have to.
So even in 2024, ahead of the election, you didn't exactly believe he was going to win?
It was not about. Every election is a win or lose, and so you can never even be 100% sure about a win, whether you've done the best of performances as a government.
Okay.
So, no, understanding politics and the electorates, you cannot say that, oh, I am dead sure we are going to win. No, then you're going to be complacent. But I think we all know that presenting Dr. Bawumia at that time was going to be an extra difficult task for the NPP to win the elections. And like I said, senior members of his campaign team at this point in time, post the election, have come to say that their research back in 2022, even before the 2023, indicated that the NPP government was losing popularity, among the electorates. And so we knew it was going to be an extra tough work to do.
Interesting. So after the loss, and then Kennedy Agyapong said, he's got to run for this, he's going to do it. And then that's why you also thought that, really, with the loss in 2024, we needed someone else.
Yes. And so we needed somebody else far back as 2023, but we missed the opportunity. And now the opportunity, we believe, has come again. And so at this point in time, I think the manner of the loss tells it all. it was not a normal loss. It was not the usual government after 8 years has changed, and so it has changed. No. We've had to witness similar losses in 2008. But Nana Akufo-Addo at that time got 49.13% and needed only about 74,000 votes to cross the line. And so that was a painful loss, but that was not catastrophic. And right after that election, there was a natural consensus that Nana Addo should go again. And if you realize the numerous number of candidates who stood against Nana Addo at that time withdrew from contesting again and backed Nana Addo. And if you recall, it was only Alan Chemantin who stood again.
Yeah.
And it was literally a unanimous decision in terms of the outcome. This time around, we see Dr. Brian Achampong, who backed Dr. Bawumia, standing against him now. We know Dr. Adutun standing against him now. What did they see? What did they realize? So we are not in normal times where we just keep repeating candidates. It's time for a new phase.
So, Kenneth Agyapong, what do you make of him as a presidential material, as someone that you are campaigning for to become the flag bearer for the party? What are his attributes? What are you saying to the delegates? What you sit down when you see Kenneth Agyapong and what do you see of him that you think that warrants him to be elected the flag bearer?
Great, thanks. I'll talk about two things, 2 or 3 things. His personality.
Right.
He is bold. He is disciplined. And he has a pragmatic approach to doing things. We've come a long way as a country that we've kept on doing certain things the same way, electing same kind of leadership with certain attributes that I don't know who told us what those things are called presidential material. I don't know how many years that material is, but we need a disciplinarian of a leader now. We need a leader who can be bold to say that this is wrong and call it out. We've had instances where government appointees have not done the right things, but for certain reasons, we were not bold to call them out or to take them out of government. We've had instances where state institutions have outrun their budgets, and nobody had seemed to be calling out the leaders who caused those budget overruns. Kennedy Agyapong will not watch those paths to be repeated. And that is what we need now. We need discipline in our spending. We need discipline in our work ethics. We need leaders who will carve that path. That is who they are naturally, and so you have to follow. Who will be bold to tell you that, as for me, if I send you to take this money here and it doesn't reach that destination, I will call you out.
Is it not about looking out for a caliber of a person who fits a certain portfolio? That is why people do talk about presidential material. That is why people do talk about a certain decorum that is supposed to come with vying for position like a president or a presidential aspirant.
No, I don't believe that is the case. You see, even biblically, the nation of Israel, if they are going to war, you realize that they get a king who is a warrior. It is not all the time that we say that, this is the fitting characteristics of a leader. I believe every moment or every time comes with the kind of leader that is required to steer us forward as a nation. And so I don't think Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is like Nana Akufo-Addo or like the late Professor Atta Mills. No, every leader and their character that has led this country. And so, respectfully, I don't really believe in that narrative of presidential material. But in any case, the so-called presidential material that we seem to have believed in the past, what has it led us into? Going to IMF 17 times? Is that the presidential material that we want to continue with? Or we want a disruptor? It is time for a leader who can be bold to disrupt certain things that have been repeated in the past. And that is what we need now. We are no more in normal times. We've had, for the first time in our country, we've had government bonds default. That is unprecedented. And so, what is presidential material? The one who can instill fiscal discipline. And most of the time, I'm a graduate of economics. I'm also a chartered accountant.
Right.
I practiced as a banker here in Ghana for 10 years before I traveled. Okay, and I still work in Toronto with the bank. The point I want to make is that it is not PhD or professor in economics that we can say that's economic management. Economic management is about fiscal discipline. If you know your balance sheet, you know your revenue and expenses, you know your budget, if you can commit to it and have that discipline to follow it, that is economic management in the wider macro system. Why am I saying this? Assuming state institutions are not disciplined to follow their budget and there is wastage in the system, you know what happens? Those debts overruns comes onto the government, which they didn't even budget for.
Okay.
Then the government have to borrow from the local system or local banks or from the citizens, right? What happens then is that you're going to be having a case where interest rates start rising because everybody wants to give their money to the government. And that is what is going to be crowding out the private sector. And they cannot get the needed funds that they can, borrow from the banks for their businesses. So you see how indiscipline in spending money leads to the macro level economic mismanagement. So it is not the PhD or professor in economics that does economic management. It is basic discipline.
So that's the fault of Bawumia.
I will not say that is a fault of Bawumia. I will say that is that is the trait we have lacked in our leadership over the years, which has made us going back to IMF every now and then.
Okay,
because
so
we don't stick.
I beg your pardon. It's President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia.
I will not lay clear-cut blame on Akufo-Addo or Bawumia.
But they were the
what I
managers
would say,
of the economy.
But what I would say is that they were the leaders of this country at that time. That is a fact.
So they oversaw it.
Of course they did.
So it's their fault.
I will not say it is their fault.
If you oversaw something like that, then it's their fault.
So I want to draw a general pattern in our political system or governance.
Right.
It is not just about the past MPP government or anything like that. I'm saying that anytime we've had to go to the IMF, it is because of fiscal indiscipline. And the same applies to the previous government under MPP. Okay. And I'm saying the underlying issue is we not having to have a leader who can say that if this institution has overspent their budget, why did the leader or why did the head of that institution cause that overrun? If there is this wastage, why is it going on? If the Auditor General writes their report, what is the commitment to actually actioning the recommendations? That is what Kennedy Agyapong will do, and doesn't mind losing popularity for himself, because that is his personality. That is what we need. He is bold to call things that are wrong in the society.
Right.
But the usual, we know very well you are doing something wrong, but they see you and say, good to see you, and then smile. No.
Okay. Well, then that means that you must be happy about what the current government is doing with the economy.
I am Ghanaian, so sure, I am happy. I am happy. Look, the data is clear, and we are, as a country, we are moving away from I am NDC, so I will always vote NDC. I am MPP, so whatever that they do, it is right in my eyes. No, we cannot live like that anymore. And the election results from our strongholds, even in Kumasi, indicated that the youth are no more ready for that narrative. So yes, I am happy that the dollar has moved from 15 or 14.8 or 5 that we left, and it is now trending downwards to 10. I am happy about it because the importers, are having a proper, I would say stability in exchange rate that they can do their trading. Okay, so yes, I am happy.
Okay. Okay. Right, so we just we're speaking to Francis Zamwakon. He's on the Kennedy Japan campaign team as we make our way towards Saturday for the NPP presidential primary. So I asked him what he's seen about Kennedy Japan and why he's for him. He's touched on his persona. He says that he's bold. Some persons may have their own issues with that. That over the past years, in correcting or trying to correct some of the things that he thinks are not right that are happening, he's gone overboard with his actions, his words, and some of the things that he said.
I will prefer a president who will go overboard in correcting what is wrong and saving the nation $100 million.
Whether overboard sometimes is insults.
I don't want to say insults are right, but my point is that the nature of the person which makes him want to correct what is wrong and call it out is the most important trait we should talk about, and not focus on. You see, we are majoring on minors.
Okay.
In my opinion, you see, when you say that insult. What was the substance of the issue he was addressing? Why are we always talking about insults? Is that all he does? So are we saying that his funds that he is using to support 37 is insults? Are we saying that the jobs that he has created in this country are insults? Are we saying that the women that he helped come back to this country when they were in danger are insults? Is that all he represents? But again, I would prefer a leader who will go a little overboard and save the nation of billions of dollars than one who will say, "Good to see you," and smile over it. That is where we are now as a country, and it is costing us a bit too much.
Your opponents have raised questions about some of these things, and even a few times on this campaign, there have been some other things like that. But as you said, the things about what he can do for the party.
Yeah.
Many are calling for a unifying figure. Is Ken that person who will unify the party?
Yes, he is.
You sure?
Yes, he is that person who is going to unify the party.
How is he going to do that? Because again, with some of the utterances, something that it goes overboard, and then it divides the party. Some do go for him, others are against him, and all of that. Then the executive comes in and all of that.
If there is any candidate who has suffered attacks in this particular primaries, it is Ken.
He suffered it.
He has suffered most of attacks. Then it is him. And so, see, the point is this. Give me one instance where somebody has left the party because of Kennedy Japan. Give me one instance. You cannot. But from what we know, and I'm not going to say that it was directly because of Dr. Bawumia or ABCD. We know the reasons why Alan Kyerematen left the NPP. We know. It was from his own story, from what he has said. It was because he wasn't treated well due to the perception that the system wanted to do everything to get Dr. Bawumia elected. That is the story of Alan Kyerematen, not mine.
Yes.
So I'm saying that, name me one person who has left the NPP because of Ken's insult. Not one. But we have an instance of Alan Kyerematen. I arrested them. So Ken is a unifier.
Okay, so Ken is a unifier. Talking about jobs and talking about young people, you also, you were sharing with me some of the things that Ken wants to implement,
right,
and how it resonates with young people,
right,
and also persons who have been in other places and have seen how development is going on in other areas. So share with us. I know he's one that is talking about unemployment and how he's going to solve that. If he's elected
right,
and eventually wins the elections in 2020. Share with us some of the things you've been telling the delegates.
Thank you very much. And I want to say that Kennedy is the only candidate who so far going around to the delegates is sharing his vision for the country and how he wants to do it, and proving that this is something that he has been doing in his personal, private, or business life. And he's going to do it at a larger scale if given the opportunity. But let me start by talking a little bit about China, okay? And I will quote an article here. We all know that over the past 35 years, China has become a rising power in the world. There is an article here, and it was written by Assistant Vice President and Economist Yi Wen. He says, given the country's rapidly rising status as an industrial power, what happened over the past 35 years that differed from its previous failed attempts at industrialization? Instead of following the advice of Western economists, China used a gradual approach for reforms. Specifically, they maintained political stability at all costs, which we currently have in Ghana. Start with reforms in the agriculture sector, promote rural industries, exchange manufactured goods for machinery. I'm going to pause it here. The main punchline here is that when China wanted to succeed and be independent economically, they didn't listen to the advice of Western economists. And if you say Western economists, we all know the IMFs and the World Banks. They used a homegrown approach to reform agriculture and promote rural industries. That is the message that Ken is pushing now. And it is interesting that one of the leading members of Dr. Bawumia's campaign actually said that Kennedy Japan didn't go to school, for want of a better word, and so cannot speak English and speak with IMF. You see, China is saying that when they wanted to develop, they didn't listen to IMF and the World Bank. They used common sense home approach for development, using their natural resources, agricultural reforms. And so it is those who seem to be wanting us to be doing the same wrong things all over again, who seem to think that we should go back to Buklong kind of a scenario. No, the youth is tired
He's
of
coming
those
with
scenarios.
more practical
approach to development. That is what China did. And as we speak today, we have European countries that is going to China to negotiate with them on trade. Okay? The Prime Minister of Canada has been to China recently. Finland is going. Germany has been there. Why are they going there? Because they are the industrial powerhouse in the world now. And this is the approach that they used. So where we are as a country, it is time for a leader who can disrupt the old system. And Ken is the one who can do it. And you know, in 2023, whilst we were in power, okay, I'm in Toronto, whilst we were in power, we had constituency executives selling their houses in Ghana here to come to Canada. Yes, constituency executives who government were in power. I'm saying it as
they were selling their homes to come to Canada.
Come to Canada.
To do what? Oh, to
seek greener
settle.
pastures or settle and things like that. My point is that it is not about whether you are MPP or NDC. If things are going wrong, it's going to affect you. So let's say it as it is and bring a leader who can transform the nation. He has spoken about agriculture. He wants to support agriculture. There's vast lands in the north. One of the things that he has said was that he is going to decentralize the ministry and local governance and all that. He wants to take the Ministry of Agric to the north because he wants to use their vast land as like a hub for agriculture and industrialization for processing. These are the ideas that Kwame Nkrumah started with when we gained independence in 1957. And that is what successive governments have not continued from there. So it is about time. When we gained independence, we were not just supposed to be the first to gain independence just for that sake. It was supposed to be an African economic powerhouse, just like China became for Asia in that region. Ghana was supposed to have been the industrial powerhouse in Africa. And the only candidate that can give credible message, and I want to use the word credible, underline, because you can go out there and sell any message to the ordinary youth in Ghana and they will not buy it. But if Ken goes out there and says that I will create jobs, and this is how I'm going to create the jobs, the youth will listen, they will understand him, because most supporters of MPP are even businessmen and women, they are traders,
right,
who were hurt badly when the dollar reached 17 and 16. That's how come they boycotted the elections, literally. So you think that now that dollar has come down to 12, you can go back to those party base with the same candidate who was seen as the face of economic management, and they will come back to him?
For Dr. Bawumia, he says that he's tried and tested. He's been there before, so he knows how he will go around it. Dr. Brian Champon is promising discipline in the party ahead of the 2028 election. You have Engineer Kwabena Agyapong talking about going back to the roots of the NPP, development in freedom, right?
Right.
And then you have, of course, Kennedy Agyapong. With all of these candidates and what they're saying, don't think any of the messages match what Kennedy Agyapong is saying?
If you are a football coach and your captain performs abysmally in a match, you don't say that he is tried and tested, so you even let the match end and then you take him to... No, you change him immediately.
What team do you support?
Liverpool.
So if Salah, so let's use Salah as your best player. If Salah, your best player, is not doing well, and Slot should substitute him.
You change him. Simple as that. You see, and in any case, what I said was this: 96 to 2020, we repeated our candidates for a reason. John Agyekum Kufuor Omampeni, he increased his votes by 1.6 million compared to Professor Adu Boahen in 1996.
Right.
And then he went on to win the next one. When Kufuor left power, I said again, Nana Addo got 49.13%. So there was a consensus to let him go again. In the case of our previous leader, his votes decreased by 2.1 million. It is unprecedented. It is not normal.
There was a decrease.
A decrease by 2.1 million. Do you know what 2.1 million votes is? You see, Nana Addo needed only 74,000 votes to cross the line. And you reduce by 2.1 million. And you are saying that we should repeat you just like Nana Addo. If truly we believe in data, we make decisions based on trend analysis, not just repetition. So that what we should just repeat for repeating sake? No. Secondly, and I want to give another statistics here. In 2024, in as much as we lost the election, the proof that our own party supporters who went to vote for MPP rejected the party leader, Dr. Bawumia, is that when you put the votes of the parliamentary candidates, whether they won or lost, together, our 87 plus those who lost, the numbers who lost their seats abysmally, if you put all of their votes together, it is higher than Dr. Bawumia by 350,000. What does that tell you?
That people didn't like the
They didn't like, exactly, because you see, even if government don't do well, normally your first, or if they don't do your roads or hospital, the first person that the electorate punish is their MP.
Is the MP.
But in this case, they even punish Dr. Bawumia more than their own MPs. That is not normal.
What do you make of Dr. Brian Champon?
I think that he also has the business kind of a mindset, and so maybe at some time in the future, yes. But in this moment, this is Kennedy's moment.
Okay. Engineer Kwabena Japan.
A very, very loyal servant of the MPP and one of the, leaders, that I believe has really served the MPP. He will be a fantastic leader of the country, no doubt about that. And so I can wish him all the best.
Who have I mentioned again? Dr. Educhum.
Yeah, Educhum too performed very, very well at the Ministry of Education. Let me mentioning Dr. Educhum, let me just talk a little bit about what he said when Dr. Bawumia went, said that we apologize for this and we apologize the appointees and from the vice president to everybody, we apologize. What Dr. Educhum said in response was that I was brought into government for education, and I did educational transformation by bringing STEM and empowering technical education. I did well in my area, and so if somebody else didn't do well in their area, they should talk about that and not make it look like it's general. I just wanted to be fair to what he did.
Okay.
Said, and this is why he's contesting now.
Okay. So Ken Japan is going to beat all of them hands down.
Ken is the next flag bearer of the MPP.
In your build up to the election, your campaign, moving around the country, speaking to delegates, I'm sure the team has sat down, taking into consideration the delegates, their votes, and all of that, and doing your own permutations and calculations with that. Have you come up with any figure, or you followed Global Info Analytics, or the prophecies? Which one are you using?
I listen to myself more.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I listen to myself more.
Okay.
And so when I hear something, that the truth should sit in me for it to connect.
Right.
So I'm the source of my own, I would say, projection for the outcome. But also from my own observation, you see, when the results came in 2024, people were saying that we told you to bring Honorable Kennedy Japan and we will go and vote. That is what they were saying. The traders in Kumasi, Ashanti, they said, bring Ken and we will vote. Trotro drivers, bring Ken and we will vote. Those whose businesses were hurt were saying that, bring Ken and we shall vote. When I went to my hometown, and I'm from Achimkade, and I've been there, I've done very, very serious job over there. And so, and I know that Ken is going to win in Achimkade constituency. The previous elections, every election year, we've increased our votes. The previous one, we went down by 10,000. And so I want to ask, whoever is saying that Achimkade should re-elect the same leader should go and ask the citizens, why did you not show up by 10,000? And so Ken is going to win. And we've done very good work over there, and it's going to be a sweet victory.
Right. Kwesi Kwarteng says 52%. I think he said that, yeah. I spoke to him here. Said 52%. Global Info, they've released their polls also. So yours, you were telling me earlier. What is
off
yours?
Camera, I said. I am saying that Ken is going to be the leader of the MPP come Saturday, 31st January.
Okay, right. But everywhere you're going, your opponents are also going. They're going there. The MPs, former MPs, support the what's it called? Constituency executives are putting their weight behind a certain candidate. All of that is that not a scare for you?
Not at all. And that is, you see, in 2023, when the government was in power, MPP was in power, I think we all saw what happened. We all saw the declaration from MPs, from ministers, from DC. We all saw all those things. Ken, as one man, pulled 37%. He barely had, strong people, strong structure, but he put 37%. And so it is quite interesting when people underestimate him now that he has proper structures. He also has big weights that are backing him now. And look, interestingly, 3 of our former deputy finance ministers are backing Kennedy Agyapong. 3 of them. Why do you think so? Have you asked yourself why they will not back the perceived economic manager or the face of the economic manager? They are backing Kennedy Agyapong. 3 deputy finance ministers. Do you know why? Because they know that fiscal discipline is what equates to economic management and not macroeconomic curves.
Right, so you're not afraid of the fear delegates?
No. And we are also aware of those going around and threatening polling station executives that if you don't vote in this manner, we will take your name out the next time.
Who's threatening?
I won't mention any name, but what we are telling the delegates now is that the party was formed by strong leaders. Ghana was formed by strong leaders, and they represent the party in the constituencies. They should be bold and they should vote with their own conviction. Currently, we have former constituency executives and former appointees, former national executives joining the voter register.
Right.
One of the things that Ken proposed at that time of the reform was that we should include former polling station executives. And so any polling station executive who feels threatened that they will remove your name after this if you don't vote in a certain way, know that Ken is going to fight for you and you will find your way back into the delegates list.
Right.
Go out there and vote, and your votes will be protected.
So that's what Francis says. Go out there and vote. Francis, before you go, let's talk about the NPP in the diaspora, especially in Canada. How's it faring? How's the group or the branch in Canada where you are? Very vibrant?
Yes, very, very vibrant. It is, in fact, you know, the structure, and you know how it is abroad, you can't always meet in person. Right. So one of the approaches that we have chapters in all over. But what we do is normally during the summertime we like to meet in person, and for our meetings, the Toronto chapter especially, let me put it that way. And during the winter time, that it's a bit difficult to get people from their homes. We have Zoom accounts. We just meet on Zoom and then we speak about what is going on.
Right. So what would you be voting? What would you be doing actually on Saturday? What's your role in the? Have you been assigned any area you'll be at?
On Saturday, I've been assigned a thumbprint. But then also we will be observing how.
So for you, where will we find you on Saturday?
You want me to declare where I'm going to be found?
Oh, I want to see you on Saturday so that by 2 p.m. when the voting ends.
I'll be here. Invite me back on any show on Saturday, and I'll be here.
Okay, right. Francis Amaku, thank you very much for coming. And so he's for Dr.
No.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
No.
It's not Dr. Kennedy or Kennedy Agyapong. I beg your pardon.
No problem.
Kennedy Agyapong. And his number on the sheet again?
Number 1.
Oh, number 1.
Previous elections, number 1.
This one's
still number 1.
Right. The Peace Pact.
Yes.
I also had issues with that clause, though, that no matter what happens,
exactly,
you have to accept.
Exactly. And talking about the Peace Pact, you see how meticulous Kennedy is? He took his time to read every single clause and raised issues before he thought about appending his signature and questioned those issues. Is this not a leader this is a leader who will not just sign any IMF or World Bank agreement just because we are in need? No, he is bold. And you see, a businessman and an entrepreneur, you do know how many contracts that he has had to sign? He reviews before he signs.
Right.
So let's not overhype academic laurels and then go for practical entrepreneurs who understand government.
Who understand the work, right. So Kennedy Agyapong, number 1 on the sheet. That's what Francis says. Go out there, delegate, and vote on Saturday. And trust us here on your election central on Metro TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital. That will bring you all the scoop from Saturday across the country and the various constituencies. So do join us on Saturday, right in the morning to 2 p.m. when the voting ends and then counting begins and all that. Thank you for joining us today on the program. My name is Desmond Okreku. We're back tomorrow, Friday, as we gear up for Saturday. There's more that'll be coming up. Many thanks for watching the program. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
A star, a shining art, the platform's beat, a hopeful start. Voices rise, instruments gleam, sharing dreams, a flowing stream. In every chord, a story told, a world of music, brave and bold.